The Lenovo Legion Go is now available at your local Micro Center. Here, I have an upgraded Legion Go with a 2TB VisionTek 2242 M2 SSD. If you purchase the 512GB model, you can also buy the 1TB or 2TB SSDs and upgrade the Lenovo Go yourself. You can jam pack this with an extra terabyte of storage with the SD card, meaning you can have a Legion Go with a whopping 3 terabytes of storage. That is a lot. And that's just the storage. Let's take a look at the rest. When you take the Legion Go out of the box, you can see this device is massive, but it feels really good in your hands. There's a huge 8.8-inch IPS full-color display at 2560 by 1600 resolution. The 10-point touchscreen is bright, up to 500 nits, and has a 144 Hz refresh rate. The biggest feature of the Legion Go are the two Legion TrueStrike controllers. These are detachable controllers that easily remove from the main unit, allowing you to prop up the Legion Go with the built-in kickstand and game in a comfortable and ergonomic position. The right controller also functions as a gaming mouse. There's an included base that attaches to the right controller that enables the mouse functionality. Under the hood are some impressive specs. With an AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor with 8 cores and 16 threads, running on Zen 4 architecture with the RDNA 3 graphics, the Legion Go is packed with power in a small package. There's 16 gigabytes of 7500 MHz LPDDR5X RAM, offering enough memory to cover a wide range of games. It uses a 2242 M2 SSD. The SSD is replaceable to grant a larger storage capacity, and you can use the micro SD slot here on the top of the Go for expanded storage. The Legion Go is packed with a 49.2 watt-hour battery capacity, offering plenty of power for the high-resolution screen, Z1 Extreme processor, and enough playtime to get through your favorite games. The included 65-watt charger allows for fast charging, and you can also use it for power bypass when the battery is full. All right, let's take a look at the Legion Go up close. Now, I'm a Steam Deck user, and this is definitely bigger than a Steam Deck, but the added size actually feels pretty good. This weighs about 1.88 pounds, and it's not too heavy. Feels pretty good on my wrist. Doesn't feel like it's going to give me a lot of pain there. So looking at the front, the layout basically looks like most other handhelds. You've got your two joysticks, one on the left, one on the right. Now these are Hall effect joysticks, which are great because these are little magnets inside that actually help. And you're not gonna get any resistance or any stick drift with these. So these are gonna last a really long time. Now the cool thing about these sticks is that you can just full on remove these little nubs and you can replace these. These are actually pretty nice for what they are. It's got a good little grip here on the side, and they're easy to take in and out. So you got your A, B, X, Y buttons, and these are pretty clicky and pretty nice. This is your quick access button for the Legion space. Now this is an overlay that you can use, and you can run everything through this so it actually feels like a console. So you get that full console experience without really having to dive into Windows. You can launch all of your other game platforms here. You can launch whatever games directly from the library. So we have some games from Steam, and you can just launch them directly through here. You can also buy games through their library as well. Now we've got our D-pad here on the left side. We also have our start and menu buttons over here. And then on the right side, we have our trackpad. Now this is really crucial if you're gonna end up using Windows a lot because the touchscreen experience is really good. But if you want to navigate, you're definitely going to want a mouse. You can click right on it just like you would on any other mouse. You can navigate very easily. And there's a lot of different ways that you can navigate on this. In the touchscreen, you can do basically any touchscreen functions, multi-touch. You can scroll up and down. You also have your mouse trackpad here on the right, but you also have a little scroll wheel on the back. And this is great if you want to scroll up and down in different windows. So this is pretty handy. Now on the top, you have your bumpers and you have your triggers, but you also have these 4 customizable buttons on the back as well, similar to the Steam Deck. On the top, we have our 2 volume control buttons. We have our USB 4 USB port. This is our SD card slot. We have our air vent for the air to exit from the fan, and we have our power button and our 3.5-inch port. We also have 2 speakers on the top. On the back, you can see the fan through the vent here. And what's very cool about this guy is it has a kickstand. What I really like about this kickstand is that the hinge is very, very strong on this kickstand. I mean, these are really well-designed hinges. These are fantastic. It definitely holds the weight up very well, but you can just move this around and you can just feel it has a bit of resistance, but it's very strong. And I think you have about 120 degrees of angle on this kickstand, so you can put this at any angle that would be comfortable for you. On the bottom here, we have another USB 4.0 port. So this is a USB-C port. Both USB-C 4.0 ports can support 65-watt charging. You can also connect this with any kind of dock or dongle. So if you want to add any external monitors, if you want to add a keyboard and mouse, if you want to use this as a computer, all of those options are available to you. Another cool thing about the Legion Go is that the USB 4.0 ports also support an eGPU, or an external GPU. That means that you can get an eGPU enclosure, put a GPU in there, and use an external GPU to power this device, which is absolutely insane. You can turn this into a very tricked out computer. Now the Radeon Super Resolution is also on, and I just turned on the full fan speed, so you can probably hear that a little bit. It gets a bit loud. If you do the hand test, it doesn't feel too hot. It feels warm, but it doesn't feel too hot. All of the heat is kind of centraled here, but you can feel the intake, and then you can feel the air coming out from the top. But the cool thing is that since the controllers are their own devices, they don't actually get any of the heat from the main device. So all the heat is kind of pulled away from your hands. Now let's look at one of the coolest features. So on the back, you press down, you pull down on the controller, and it comes right off. And here you can see the contact points and the hinge and how it attaches onto the device. You could do the same on the other side as well. You just press down, and there you go. And now you have a fully wireless experience similar to a Nintendo Switch. Here you can go to the Lenovo quick settings and you can see how much battery life is left for each controller, how much battery life is left for the console. So I'm going to load up one of my favorites. This is Valheim. And I play a lot of Valheim on my Steam Deck. But the thing is, I have to play it with a lot of caveats. I play with all of the settings at the lowest possible setting. I play it at 40 Hertz and it barely hits that 40 FPS mark. I'm usually hovering in about the 20s to 25 range on my Steam Deck. But on the Legion Go, I'm getting some solid frame rates. So right now I'm pushing about 50, and here you can see I'm in the plains. I'm getting about 47 frames right now, which is actually pretty good. This is wild. One big thing I've noticed that's a difference between the Legion Go and my Steam Deck is that input lag is a lot less on this. I have a lot of issues when I'm trying to parry or time certain attacks on my Steam Deck, and it's definitely caused me a lot of issues. I'm not having those same issues on here, so I actually feel like I could do things a lot more competitively on here than I could on my Steam Deck. Yeah, see? Something like that I wouldn't be able to do on my Steam Deck. All right, I'm running Cyberpunk on here, and right now I'm playing with the controllers attached. I'm running this at 800p, and I went through the menu settings. I turned off a couple of the settings like lens blur or chromatic aberration and motion blur, some of the annoying settings. But I'm getting some pretty solid frames right now. I mean, about 50, 49. Playing at 800p works perfectly for this device because the natural resolution is 2550 by 1600. So when you're running at 800p, you're actually running at the exact half resolution. So the upscaler works perfectly. Hello, hello. Do you have a moment to talk about the Lenovo Legion Go? Excuse me, miss. Excuse me, miss. Hi, excuse me. Hi, do you have a moment to talk about the Lenovo Legion Go? No? Okay. So it's nice that I could put the physical tablet portion of this device on the table and I can play like this, and I can actually get in sort of any position I really want without having to feel like I'm dragging the device around with me. So the cool thing about this is on the bottom, there's a little toggle here for FPS mode. And it actually has this little reader. So you could take this, you put it into the base that comes with the device, and it goes in with a little magnet to keep it in place, and it turns the right controller to a vertical mouse. and it's really cool. Now, let's say you're using the FPS mode with the right controller, but this little joystick's kind of getting in your way. This comes right out, pops off, and there's a little holder right in the case specifically for this. So you can keep it in there, keeps it safe, and it actually holds it pretty tight, so you're not going to lose it in the case or have it drop out. And then, look at that, you can use this perfectly. It doesn't even feel like there's anything on my palm. The biggest thing about these handhelds is that it's actually pretty tricky to play some competitive FPS games without a keyboard and mouse. You know, I prefer all of my FPS games with a keyboard and mouse. I can play with joysticks, but I just really don't enjoy it that much. So this takes this handheld and actually brings it to the next level. You could play competitively on this device. And it handles just like any other mouse. Now, personally, I'm not crazy about vertical mice, but the ergonomics are exactly the same as a regular mouse. Like, this handles just like a normal mouse. I feel like I can actually do some trick shots and some flicks and really do some cool stuff with this. Now, we tested out a variety of games with this. We've tested out Valorant, we've tried out Monster Hunter World, we've tried out Valheim. I've got Cyberpunk open here. Everything that we've thrown at it, it's run pretty well. I mean, I've got a solid about 57 to 62 frames. It dips sometimes into the 30s. Right now, we're looking at what, 28, went right back up to 65. Overall, the Lenovo Legion Go handheld is built for gaming enthusiasts with a focus on FPS gaming. The FPS mode on the controller, which turns it into a mouse, is an amazing feature that makes this device a true game changer. Keep your eyes out for the SSD replacement video on the Legion Go. We'll be showing you how to update your SSD on the Legion Go here at Micro Center. Make sure you stop by your local Micro Center to pick up your Lenovo Legion Go. Which game would you like to try first on the Legion Go? Let us know in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, remember to comment #I want a Micro Center near me.